Good afternoon, everyone. Today I am at the Bartlett Nature Center, which is also the James Pate Phillip State Park. And I'm going to be riding my Windmill loop. It's a custom loop I created last year. I have not had the opportunity yet this year to ride this loop, and timing didn't allow for any rides that I would have to drive out a bunch further for. So this is the ride for today. As always, when given the opportunity, let's take a moment to recognize Old Glory, waving in the strong breeze, as she should. POWMIA, not forgotten, never forget. If you saw my West River Loop ride that was within the last couple months, that ride also started at the Bartlett Nature Center in Bartlett, Illinois. So starting at the Bartlett Nature Center, we're going to be hopping on the Prairie path, and we're going to take that down and then pick up the Geneva spur of the Prairie path, take that all the way to the Fox River Trail. We're going to hang a left there and make our way to the Windmill, and then just turn around, take the Fox River Trail all the way back up to Stearns Road, and then take this little extension path that connects the Bartlett Nature Center. So just in case you guys did not see the West River Loop video, this here is a major intersection between two trails here. Hanging a left here is going to get us to the Illinois Prairie Path, and going straight here underneath Route 25 will give us access to the Fox River Trail. But for this ride, we're going to be hanging a left and heading towards the Illinois Prairie Path. I'm a fan of starting at the Bartlett Nature Center, especially when it's open, because then you have access to air conditioning and the inside, and they have soda machine, snack machine, restrooms, that kind of stuff. Though they were closed the majority of the time I was at the Bartlett Nature Center last year. One of the advantages to starting there is the ability to do loop rides, because you're really close to the Prairie Path and the Fox River Trail. So that gives you the ability to create multiple loop rides, two of which I've created starting from there, but you have the ability to create a variety of them if you wanted to match your riding style. So we just passed a sign that indicated horses are allowed on this portion of the trail. I'm not exactly sure how far down they're allowed, but at least at this point on the trail, you can ride your horse here. Also, I was on the Millennium Trail yesterday. While the path is made of the same stuff, crushed limestone, the Lake County has wider trails, so this is a little narrower, so just be aware of that. Welcome to DuPage County. Ooh, let's see the map. Here's a DuPage County trail guide. So you can see way up there at the star, that's basically where we are now. We're going to be riding all the way down to here, coming down here and hopping on the Geneva spur of the Illinois Prairie Path, and then making our way to the Fox River Trail. Okay, well, right at the intersection of the trail and Army Trail Road, as you saw, there's a porta potty back there. There's also trail parking here. You should know the porta potty is back there behind that, so you might not immediately see it depending on what direction you're coming from. They also have a trail map here, which is useful. And I definitely wouldn't be riding on that. Okay, so right where we are right now is at the intersection between a couple trails here. We're right here right now. We're going to be on the Great Western Trail for just a small portion to continue on the Illinois Prairie Path Elgin branch, which is where we're going here. What's interesting about this is depending on what map you look at, they'll show a trail going this way. So there is a trail this way. I've never actually gone down it because if you go back to the map here, according to this map, it's not there. So it doesn't go very far is what I've seen on Google Earth, or I should say Google Maps. So I'm just gonna hop on and do this little bit here just to see what it looks like and then come right back to this intersection. Wondered exactly where that part of the trail goes. It looks like it's just a little connector trail that'll take you to whatever the name of this road is. I'll put that up at the bottom. And it looks like it just dumps right into a little neighborhood here. I don't know if you can see that on the map. And so I'm just gonna turn around and continue on with the loop. So at this intersection here, this is the direction we came from. This way is the Great Western Trail. Over here where it says path closed, it looks like on the map that it just connects up to a neighborhood just on the other side of the trees. This sign here though that they have here at this intersection is actually quite misleading, because if you wanted to actually maintain being on the prairie path, you'd actually have to go this way. I don't know why the arrow is pointing this way. According to the AllTrails map, that section here is called, just continues going on as the Great Western Trail. So I'm not exactly sure why they have this particular sign here, because it could definitely lead you astray if you think that you're going to be staying on the prairie path going this way, when in fact you actually have to go this way. So I don't understand that. Okay, just a quick insert here. You can see that yellow star in the top corner. That is the trail intersection that I'm standing at here. So I decided to look to see if that little trail just past Route 59, that left turn that I told you guys to keep in mind, to see where that went and if it led anywhere. So upon a further investigation in satellite view, you could technically make your way all the way back to the Geneva spur of the Illinois Prairie Path. So even knowing that, I still believe that the arrow on this sign is pointed in the wrong direction and will lead the average rider astray. If you want to go on the Illinois Prairie Path, if you go right here, you are on the Illinois Prairie Path. If you go left here, you're either on a portion of the Great Western Trail or just some no-name trail, and then you'd have to turn left just past 59, and then you'd have to follow that yellow trail all the way down, and then it would eventually connect to the Geneva Spur. So again, I think that sign is wrong. Okay, I'm at another trail intersection here. So I'm on the Great Western Trail. This up here is Prince Crossing Road. If we continue down this way, that's the Great Western Trail. It'll take you all the way to Villa Park. But also, this area right over here is the Prairie Path. If you follow this trail on the other side of the street, you can see way down there it kind of turns in to the woods. If you follow that all the way down, you'll end up in Wheaton. At that point, if you hop on the main stem and start heading east, you'll also end up in Villa Park, and then you can go quite a bit further on that. You can make yourself all the way to, I think it's Maywood. But for the purposes of this trail, I'm just going to hang a right here because our goal here is to get on the Geneva spur of the Illinois Prairie Path. Okay, so I'm at the intersection of Prince Crossing Road and Geneva Road. So it's at this point where the trail ends and you're gonna have to ride on the street. It's not for very long, and then basically at the next major street we're gonna hang a right, at which point we'll be getting on the Geneva spur of the Illinois Prairie Path. So as you can see, there is a little shoulder here. The speed limit is 35, so it's not an uncomfortable speed to have cars around you. It's not that major of a street. So at this point you have to turn right. It's actually really easy to miss. It's a wider sidewalk. It's not actually looking like a normal trail. We're at the intersection of Main Street and Prince Crossing Road. So it's actually before this property here. You turn on the sidewalk. So as you saw, there was a detour. Now, every time I've ridden in this area, the detour's been there. So I'm not exactly sure how long the detour's been there, but definitely at least a year and a half. So instead of going that way, you saw they actually have signage up to kind of guide you on the street turns, but then pulling right up on in here, and then you're back on the trail. Okay, one last insert here. If you would have followed that yellow trail we talked about earlier all the way south, this is where it meets up with the Geneva Spur, right at this trail intersection. I'm going to be going straight here, but that path to the right is where it connects up here. This section of the Geneva Spur of the Illinois Prairie Path runs along the southern edge of the DuPage Airport. Now it's at this point where the trail runs right in between airport property and golf course property. The trail is this little section that goes right in between both of those property lines. Okay, so now we've reached the point where we ended the Geneva Spur of the Prairie Path, and the intersection here of the Fox River Trail, we're going to go this way just so we can go down to the Windmill, and then we're going to turn around, come right past this intersection, then head up that way all the way to Stearns Road. welcome to the FABYAN Windmill. Okay, so I'm gonna start making my way back, but before I do that, way down there is the Fox River Trail. We're gonna be heading back this way north, but the trail does continue this way for about 15 miles, and one of the sections actually starts here. I think it ends in North Aurora. It runs on both sides of the river. So there's an east side and a west side to the trail for, I think it's like 4 or 5 miles, something like that. So if you are interested in seeing what that ride looks like, I do have a ride on the entire Fox River Trail. I did it in one shot. That day ended up to be about 60 miles of total riding. The Fox River Trail itself is about 38.5 miles. If you are interested in seeing that ride, go ahead and click that info card above. Okay, so we're back on the Fox River Trail heading north. This is our first backtrack of the day, so I'm not exactly sure how long the backtrack is between here and that trail intersection that we turned onto the Fox River Trail from. So I'll put that up on the screen. But so at this point, we're backtracking up until we hit that trail intersection. Okay, so in that previously mentioned Fox River Trail video that I did, we just came along this way, which is the same direction we came from when we were heading south. So if you could see on the map here, hopefully the glare's not too bad, there's actually a little trail that gets closer to the water that reconnects with what we're on. So instead of a complete backtrack here, I'm just going to go on this side to take this little trail, and then it reconnects further up. Welcome to St. Charles, Illinois. Fox Cycle here is one of my favorite things on the trail. I don't know if you could actually see that. The Fox is completely made out of bike parts. right, so now I'm at TEKAKWITHA Woods Forest Preserve in St. Charles. This has a parking lot for trail access. There's a restroom right here. They have garbage cans, shaded places to eat. I think they have some of their own trails here, but I don't believe bikes are allowed. So if you saw the Fox River Trail ride, we went up a big hill right before we got to this area. So now, since I'm headed north, I'm gonna go down that big hill. I'm gonna try and pay attention to the top speed that I get going down on the trail. Usually I wait at the top for it to be all clear, pretty much down to the bridge. And then I'm not gonna apply any power or anything. I'm just gonna let the momentum take me down and see how fast I go. Okay, well, we just came from the bridges and that island down that big hill. Now we're at another trail intersection. The Riverbend Trail goes this way. If you're interested in seeing what it looks like down the Riverbend Trail, I use it as part of my West River Loop. So go ahead and click that info card above. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, just coasting down that hill, I got to 30.4 miles per hour. As you saw, I stopped at the top of it. I waited till that biker got onto the bridge before I started, and I just coasted all the way down. There was nobody else on the trail. I don't want to rush past people going that fast. Okay, so not too far after you cross Stearns Road Bridge, this is another trail intersection. If we went left here, we would be back on the Elgin branch of the Illinois Prairie Path, and we can make our way all the way to Elgin. We're going to continue this way, and just past that bridge, there's a roundabout, and that's the same trail intersection right when we started after we left Bartlett Nature Center. Okay, well, we're back at the Bartlett Nature Center, James Pate Phillips State Park. Once you're back here at your vehicle, you have a choice that you can make. You could go do the trails here at the Bartlett Nature Center. This is the little map for it. So it'll add just about 4 miles to your ride. It's not very big, but they're all very nice. The trail quality is very nice. So if you're interested in upping your loop for another 4 miles, that's exactly what you could do right here, or just pack it up and go. In this case, I've run out of time, so I'm going to pack it up and go, but I'll insert the footage here just so you guys can see. If you haven't seen some of the other videos that included the 4 miles here, I'll insert that now. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys on the next ride.